I mean, like that kind of, it seems like your whole thing was just basically, the moral of your whole thing was just kind of like, be the example.
Right.
Like we can't be the ones out here doing this and that, and then letting the kids look at us doing this and that, and expect them not to think that it's right. Because
we are the example.
Yeah, we are the example.
Right.
Their minds are blank.
Right.
So we have to instill in them and put that knowledge of what's good and what's bad. Although it does start with the parents, teachers, students are with their teachers 80% of the day.
That's true.
And so we have to be the ones who kind of like we have the upper hand over the parents.
Nature versus nurture.
Right. We have the upper hands over the parents. Basically, the parents is just the provider. We are the educators.
Right.
Although they have some hand in it, we are the ones who have the upper hand in the educational system, and we have to kind of like set that example, be that example, and stay strong in it, regardless of how much fun it looks. You know, we have to kind of set boundaries for ourselves, and therefore it will set boundaries for them.
Yeah, parents and teachers, they have to help each other.
Right.
It's not, all the load's not going to go on one person or the other person.
Right.
It's both your responsibility as well as, it's like you were talking about earlier, going into the video games thing. I can really relate to that because I grew up during that time.
Me too.
Because I remember, take the game out, press reset.
I'm losing.
Yeah,
I'm losing. Let me start over.
It affected me in school.
Yes, it is.
In life, in the workplace.
Right.
So it's, it's a really prevalent thing that is, I think it's plugging that. There's a good way to do it, and there's a bad way.
Right.
It teaches some good things like hand-eye coordination, but
but that's about it.
Yeah.
But
it's teaching you morals.
But see, the only thing about that is the video game. You can get lucky in the video game.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not gonna get lucky in
life.
chess. You're not gonna get lucky in scramble. You either know it or you
don't.
Right. There's no lucky victory. You can mash one button to get lucky, throw a punch, and win the video game.
Right.
But now you can get video games where it's educational for younger kids.
Right.
So
You can.
Right.
Positive.
You can
leapfrog
And that's fine. That's fine if you're expanding their education,
But that's
expanding
rare.
their mind.
Right.
Yeah. But as far
it's expensive
as
and it's
as far as 2K Live and NBA 13 and
that's $67 when a chess plays team.
And I see people on Twitter, people on Facebook. Oh, I'm standing in line for this NBA 2K13, but they're nowhere in school. Like they're nowhere educating themselves. It seems like the media is taking over rather than the education.
Right, like you're standing in line for the newest video game. You're standing in line for
the
Jordans out.
The parents need to be enforcing those rules too.
But
like you said in that story, how the parent was pressuring the child to throw a ball.
Right.
So,
we have those parents.
And what is he to do? He got to listen to his dad. He's
Right.
to throw it.
if he's going to buy some Jordans, what's the child going to do?
Right. So we as parents, or if you have, I don't have kids, but as future parents or whatever, we have to be able to enforce, the do's and don'ts. Like, be strong in those do's and don'ts, because it's not healthy for the kid. It's not healthy for the children growing up.
But we're in a particular spot, so be parents and
teachers, right? So it's kind of a challenge for us, but we have to be able to maintain that challenge and be up for the challenge and be strong in that challenge.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, as an educator, I wouldn't be against video games. It just would be not as much time consuming for a child.
Yeah. But all right, so we've got pre-game and second inning, keeping your eye on the ball.
And mine was the post game, and it was like.
What was the post game?
No, the title. Don't tell me the title. Something about starfish. Throwing starfish with the title.
How did you forget that?
That's because I had to look up hers. It was like out of the ordinary.
I'm sorry.
So, throwing starfish. And in my story, Mr. Rafe is bringing his kids back from a baseball game, and on his way back, he forgets that he left some papers he needed to grade at school. So on his way back, he's thinking, and he thinks about an old legend where a man is throwing starfish back into the ocean, and a kid comes up to him and asks him why is he doing that, because he's not going to get all the starfish back. And he says, well, as long as he gets some of them back in, that'll be fine. So as he's going back to the school, he gets there, and it's dark there, and he hears a voice. And it's one of his students that was supposed to get a ride home earlier from his mother, but that nobody came and picked him up. Yeah, so in those 6 hours, the student had a book that he checked out from the library, and it was about the World War II. So he read that during the whole 6 hours, and then the teacher, he was asking why, he was reading, and then he just said he found it interesting that he couldn't stop reading it. So he tells him to get ready, and then he'll bring him home. And then the student asked him, can he stop bringing by the library so he can check out more books about the World War II and everything that's happened. And then he asked him, they're out of school the next 2 days because of the holiday, so he asked him on one of them days if he can bring them to a cemetery so he can bring out flags to all the people that's died and all that. So Mr. Rafe is a real impact on his students for, interacting with them, bringing them places, and I'm trying to think what else.
Was that it for you?
Yeah.
That's basically the summary.
Yeah.
Right.
What was the moral, I guess, of the, basically, I'm guessing the starfish.
Yeah, he wants to be able to, I guess his starfish are his students, but he wants to get them more, I guess, excited about school and wanting them to do more outside of school, which this student was doing. Yeah.
Well,
World.
just to reverse back to the student, he was in my chapter. And I didn't think, Sam. I didn't think that it would be important, but I guess it is, because Sam was the student who no one liked. He always was dirty. He didn't do his work. Like, they weren't allowed to leave their equipment or any of their belongings on the playground because anybody could come and steal them. But Sam, he would always take his shirt off and throw his stuff on the ground, but nobody would ever take it. Sam was he was the hyperactive kid, I would say, and he was the hyperactive kid. He was the one that was basically acting out in class, and it probably started from home, being that his mother then left him out there for 6 hours. And Mr. Rafe, before he left for the game, even asked him, "Are you sure your mother's gonna come pick you up?" And he was like, "Yeah." So when he took him into the classroom to his after-school programs, Sam was the one who kind of exceeded in the program, who kind of found things interesting. He found Shakespeare very interesting, and he started to find the post-war things that happened after World War II and during, anything that was dealing with war at all. He found that interesting, and so that's what he was reading when he left for the game. And to find that, for him to come back and he's still gaining knowledge from all of this, that's inspiring. Like, that's how more students need to be. Yes, that's how more students need to be. And the fact that he would even take the initiative to go out there and place flags and, show
want to go to the library.
Want to actually just do this on his own. It's kind of like, wow, like, that's the thing that's going to keep us teachers going. Like, that's the thing that's going to have us so into our careers and our jobs.
And make your job easier.
Right, make
the
it
child
easier.
already knowing
Right.
what you're going over.
So the book makes a full circle, coming back to Sam at the end.
Right.
Oh, makes tears in my eyes. All right. Well, I think we wrapped it up pretty well. Got the summary plot. Well, how we're gonna implement this in our classrooms.
Yeah. I want to be like Mr. Ray.
Right. I want to be Mr. Ray when I grow up.
I want to take my kids to Dodgers games.
I
I wish you could still do that.
Right. It's a what do you call it? Not health, but like safety issue.
Oh,
like,
probably, yeah,
yeah,
I'm sure.
It's a safety issue.
I'm sure.
We won't have insurance on these kids.
Yeah, more on insurance and safety on our next podcast. Signing out. This is Team Baja. Thanks for watching.
Peace.